Hey, pre-calc, let's do this. This is unit 0, lesson 3, and we got numbers 1, 2, 5, 7, and 8 skipping around here. Some of these are just like so basic that it's not even worth wasting your time on here. But let's dive into the ones that definitely need some algebraic skill. Remember, I don't know how to solve these in this case of like I don't have an answer key in front of me. I'm just diving in and jumping in and saying, how would I solve these? All right, so for which value of x does this, let's make it a little bigger, does the root of 2x plus 40 equals 8? Well, I'm thinking of like, well, how can I get that x by? This is just solving it. So, you know, this is one where I'd want to square this and get 64 is equal to 2x plus 40. That gets rid of that root symbol, and then I'm like, okay, well, let's take away 40 and take away 40. There we go. We get 2x is equal to 24. It looks like x should be equal to 12. Great, we're done with that one. And so that one's a relatively easy one here. We've got one where, okay, we've got an x minus 3 squared minus 25 is equal to 0. So this one, it's going to be quadratic. This one, I'm thinking it typically is going to have like 2 solutions. So let's dive in and look at this. I mean, I kind of instinctually, so what is going to make this equal to 0? Well, if all of this is equal to 0, then if this was one of those things where we had 2 things multiplied by each other equals to 0, then we'd know one is equal to 0 or the other one's equal to 0. But we've got this little extra minus 25. That means that I kind of can't do it. I kind of want to FOIL this out, and so I'm going to take that x squared. Okay, and so we got double this, so minus 6x and plus 9 minus 25. And let's just see what happens with this. Again, you know, I don't know the exact strategy with this. So looking at this, I want to combine that. 9 minus 20. Geez, forgot my calculator again. 25 minus 9. The difference between 25 and 9. There. Oh yeah, 16. So we got an x squared minus 6x. Let's see, minus 16. And I'm thinking to myself, is there a way of factoring this? That would be really nice. That would be really nice if I could get a something times a something that multiplies to make that negative 16. All right, so I'm thinking here of the factors of negative 16. So negative 16, the factors, we could have either plus or minus. A 1 and a 16, that's not going to work. 1 times 16, they're not going to add together to make a negative 6. So, all right, 2. Well, 2 times 8. 2 times 8. 2 times 8. Now that one, if I make the 8 a negative and I multiply 2 times negative 8, I get negative 16. And then if I add them together, that's the one. So we get x plus 2 and x minus 8. That's looking like it. All right, now since we factored, I didn't have to break out the quadratic formula for this. That's nice. So I'm going to take this off the side. Either this is equal to 0 or this is equal to 0. That when we multiply them, we get 0. So that means that x plus 2 has got to be equal to 0. I don't even know why I'm writing this down. You know it, that x has got to be equal to a negative 2. That's one of the solutions. And x minus 8 has got to be equal to 0. So add that 8 and you get x is equal to a positive 8. These are the 2 solutions, this or that. Or this and that, you know, are the 2 solutions. Great. All right, let's see. Next problem, 5, 7, and 8. Looks like those are on the back. Oh, yeah. I'm like, why did I assign this one? It's because right here, we got this doubles every week. So, all right, population of fruit flies doubles. I wanted to see, like, give you this one because it's not just a quadratic. This is one that has exponential growth, and there's our growth factor of 2. Remember that our formula for exponentials are y equals a times b to the x power, where b is that growth factor and a is the starting value. Well, initially 70 fruit flies, so 70 times 2 to the power of x. There's our equation for this. How many fruit flies will there be at the end of the first week? I could keep doubling this, or I could take this equation and say, okay, we've got 70 times 2, but raise that 2 to the power of 7 days. Yeah, let's see, 7. No, end of the first week. Oh, this is per week. It doubles every week. Oh, so that'd just be 140. That's just doubling that 70. That's easy. That would be for 7 weeks. My God. At the end of the third week. Okay. Well, I can take this and change that power to a 3 at the end of the third week. So the third week, there'll be 560 of them. See how I want to use this if I can. And in which week will the population be 5,000? Wow, so now we're saying, when is this equal to 5,000? And using this equation, we can get an exact value here. Using the table, we're going to get an approximate value. Like if we take this and do it to the third, to the fifth, we're not there, to the sixth. All right, we're almost at. All right, so it's going to be somewhere 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, we'd have 4,480, and then when we go to 7, it's gonna be big. All right, so let's go to 7 and just see what it is. The 7th week would be, yeah, too high, 8,960. So we gotta say, like, when does this roughly happen? It's gonna be somewhere. In which week will the population reach 5,000 flies? Well, it isn't happening in the 6th week. It's gonna happen sometime between the 6th and the 7th. All right, so I mean, we have enough here to say that it's going to take basically 7 weeks if we're just checking in on it. We could use this, and we could use this to work our way towards finding this. Yes, we divide by that 5,000 divided by 70. We're going to get a not so nice number, and then we have 2 to the power of x is equal to that 71.42, 43-ish, we round it. Now, yeah, using this, it's like, did you learn how to use these log buttons and the natural log buttons? This is one of those times where we're trying to see, like, if this was base 10, we could definitely use the log button to undo that. We'd log one side and log the other one, but this is one where we'd have to break out the natural log. Now, all right, so I'm going to skip past this one. The answer in general that we're shooting for is that you know that it's got to be at least that many weeks, but I would be impressed if some of you could come back. Don't use ChatGPT. Do you know how to do this? Do you know how to use these buttons in order to work your way backwards and find out, hey, it's going to be a 6-point-something weeks. Now, yeah, of course you could guess and check with this. Let's move on. Number 7. For which value of x is this equation equal to that one? Well, I look at this, and this is one that makes me want to get one whole side equal to 0. So I want to say 0. I'm going to subtract this and add this to the other side. Ooh, adding that makes that go away, and we get x squared minus 4x. Oh man, plus like nothing is equal to this. Well, look at that. We can take x and factor an x out of this. Okay, and so they both have an x. We'd be left with an x minus 4. That's nice. Again, that happened because when we add 5 and add 5, that goes away. And so here's the thing. X has got to be equal to 0, or x minus 4 has got to be equal to 0. And that means x would be equal to 4. So we have two solutions, 0, 0 and 4 are solutions to that one. Okay, let's move on. Last one here. And yeah, for what values is x equal to 2? This is one where, oh boy. All right, so I want to move this to the other side, get a 0 on this side. We're going to subtract 2, we're going to have a minus 7. That is not looking nice. So we got a plus x and a 4x cubed. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, there's a 1 here. There's a 1 and that minus 7. We've got our a is a 4, a b, and a c. And we're going to want to break out that quadratic formula for this. I don't see any way around this. Yeah. So and we got this round to nearest thousandth. That's telling me that this isn't going to work out quite right. Oh boy, it's I'm honestly quadratic formula. I remember I'm dyslexic. I mix things up, so I'm doing my quick Google search just to make sure here. Yeah, so our quadratic formula is that opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now I'm glad I looked that up, because the part that I know I would have missed was that right there. So we're looking here. We've got everywhere we see our a, b, and c, we're going to plug them into the formula. So let's see, negative b, so we're going to have a negative 1 plus or minus the root of, well, b squared is 1 squared, which is 1, and negative 4ac. So I'm going to take negative 4, multiply it by the a value of 4, that's negative 16, and then multiply it by negative 7 there. So we got negative 7 times negative 16. Oh boy, and we got minus 112. Okay, we got something here. And then we're dividing that by 2 times the a value, which would be 8. 4 times 2. Yeah, so let's look at this thing. Yeah, simplify that. Negative 1 plus or minus the root of negative 111 over 8. I'm wondering if I did something wrong. Maybe I did something wrong here, but I'm looking at this and we're gonna get an imaginary number here. Yeah. All right. Again, I make these videos. I don't want this to go on too long. I make them live. So this is one of those where I would like you to come back to me, see if you've got a better way of getting to the answer here. The solution that we're given online here is x equals 1.136. Do you have a way, is your solution getting you to that one sooner than minus? Yeah, taking the root of this, I'm only seeing an imaginary number here, and I'm seeing that is not an imaginary number. So I'm wondering, plus, minus, all right, my brain's not there. That's okay. Hey, when my brain's not there, I'm not going to force it. Let's cut the video off right there at about 12 minutes. It's going over most of the homework.